welcome to another episode of the Digital Embellishment Show. I'm your host, Kevin Abergel, and I have the great pleasure of having somebody with me who's been really at the forefront of the digital embellishment industry. He's a trade finisher who was one of the first ones to get into digital. He's been doing it for a long time. And not only that, he is an award-winning a trade finisher. It is my immense pleasure to welcome my good friend, Andy Humble from Post Press Specialties. Andy, how are you, man?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Of course. It's a big pleasure. Andy, tell us a little bit about your business, because I think a lot of people don't know. Let's start with your location. I think already your location is probably one of the most unique locations on earth when it comes to where somebody would put a trade finishing shop. Tell us about where you're located, what's unique about your trade shop, and just about your business.
All right. Well, thanks. We're in the Kansas City metro area, just outside of Kansas City, and we have about 170,000 square foot plant. But the unique thing that Kevin's talking about is we're actually in people call it a cave, but it's actually a mine. So in Kansas City, there's something about the way the rock formations are that it is stable enough with the rock above and below the limestone that they reclaim the mines into business parks. There's 6 or 7 different locations around Kansas City, and we're in one of them. There's 6 million square feet of rentable space in this business park, and we have about 170,000 of it. So
wow.
We are 30 to 60 feet underground. Our ceilings are, 14 or 15 feet high. We've got pillars that hold everything up that are spaced through our shop. But well lit. Everything's painted white. Most facilities don't have windows. We're right by the entrance, but we are underground.
Wow. So that's you guys are zombie apocalypse ready, I think, if anybody
ready.
is.
No
Andy, talk.
Tornadoes,
that's right.
Snowstorms.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And probably save a good amount on the air conditioning bill as well, being that deep underground, I'm sure.
We've got so much equipment that we do run some AC, but we do not run any heaters.
I'm sure you don't need to. Andy, tell me something. Like your business model, you don't really necessarily sell directly to brands. You sell mostly to other printers. Is that right?
It's probably the 98, 99% we're selling to printers. We don't have one printing press here. So we latch on to some good printers around the region. We kind of think that anybody within the central time zone, we've got a shot with. We're doing more work outside of Kansas City than we do for people inside of Kansas City. So we're starting to become more of a regional finisher. 130 full-time employees, so we can get some stuff through here.
That's awesome. Andy, tell me something. You were one of the first trade finishers that ever decided to take the digital route with embellishments. I think, 6, 7 years ago? How long has it been?
I think 7 or 8 years ago now.
7 or 8 years ago. Wow.
I think we were the 4th one in North America. Probably a little bit on the early side. There was some pain.
There was some. Talk to me about that pain. Like, first of all, why did you go digital at that time when nobody else had really gone digital especially with your business model? And then talk to us kind of some of the stuff that you learned in those first years. Now that we're seeing kind of the market accelerate, but you had to move a lot of mountains to get to where you are with the digital side. Talk to us about that.
Well, we got the MGI, and I think it's referred to as the classic, but the original commercial machine. I think I first saw it at a trade show in Chicago, and I was just blown away with what it could do. And we were a decent-sized bindery, had some success, had good relationships. We do work for 200 to 250 different trade printers, or not trade printers, but commercial printers. And we've got partnerships with over 100 of them where, they need something and they come to us. Some people find us and we're just a vendor, but we've got a lot of partnerships. So I thought that this thing was going to happen, and that the product was beautiful, is doing stuff that no one else could do. And I jumped in, and we had some success. We did some neat projects. What we struggled with the most, probably for the first year or two is better, and then we kind of struggled, was with the durability of the machine and the some of the, you think it's the magic of it. We would run it, and then the next day it wouldn't run. Finishes would work, and then they wouldn't work. Just a little finicky. Still beautiful work when it worked. But last year, after some struggles, and then I think MGI and Konica had fixed a lot of that stuff, but we were still on an old platform. They offered us a chance to upgrade, made a very kind trade-in of the older machine to jump into the newer machine. So we pulled the trigger, and I think our machine was installed in February of 22.
Okay.
And could not be more pleased with the machine. It's durable. It still does the crate work, which we'd get sometimes off the other machine, but just some of the technical, mechanical things have been fixed, as
Right.
they kept improving.
Right.
And actually we've done a couple of runs of hundreds of thousands. I think our largest run was a 2335 or 2436 brush sheet for 700,000 sheets. And I would have never.
Whoa. 700,000 sheet job you ran digitally?
2436, yeah.
So
Packaging job.
you got to help me here, because I'm starting to see a lot of this conversation. Like, somebody I know just got 600,000 box orders that's being done digitally with foil. Why are people pulling the trigger to do these long runs on digital runs instead of clearly something that would be probably faster and cheaper, like an analog? Like, what in your opinion is driving the increase? Because you're not the first person to tell me this. We're really starting to see longer and longer runs.
Yeah.
Why?
It's exciting that everything's not 300 or 500 sheets. This specific job we've done a couple of times. I think 700,000 the first time and $500,000 another time. And those are press sheets. Those aren't piece counts.
Wow.
We're buying varnish by the skid and foil by double skids and, already trimmed to size. What's causing this is the brands are being told, and maybe some of what you're doing, being told that the tactile finish and it's raised UV, it's raised foil, it's the shine. And I won't say the name of the brand because we don't want to overstep our.
Right. Oh, no, of course.
But it's a well-known brand. It is a piece that is sold for a decent amount of money when they sell them on the store. And I think that they just want that store presence, that shelf presence to grab someone's attention. The people that are buying it are younger kids, probably from time kids can buy up to early teenagers. So they want something shiny and bumpy and smooth to touch. It looks great. It looks great.
That's phenomenal. So what you're saying is the brands, these major brands, and I think I have an inkling of who it is starting to push because they prefer the digital look and feel for specifically this type of technology. That's an amazing piece of information that now the brand, because, if they do it and they're getting results, what's going to happen. Everybody else who's, all the other brands.
You have to think so. And we've reran this already. So
it's working.
And it's not our customer. Actually, it's another business that has a machine like ours that needed so much work needed to be done that they found a machine like ours. And so I don't know how big the total run was. We only did a partial of it.
Right. Right. Well, I think that's a beautiful story, and hopefully the other brands are starting to pay attention now that, and it's true because you do also analog finishing, so you really are able to compare and contrast with the analog and digital. It's not the same. It's a different look. I'm not saying that analog is better or analog is worse, but it is a different look and feel, and I would say it even reflects the light differently when done digitally. And I think maybe now brands are starting to, I don't know, we're trying to bang the drum as hard as we can on this. Brands are starting to pay attention that, wait a second, there's something to this, not just for the short runs, but for the long runs as well.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think we talked a little bit last week when we visited about people doing UV finishing and pouring on the UV. And, a lot of times the UV or the textured UV is better when it's surprisingly there, or just
Subtle, subtle.
lightly enhanced. It can be very classy way it's done.
That's
And
right.
sometimes, with our digital, we've got the MGI, but Scodex can do the same thing.
Of course.
People will ask for something,
Yeah.
and we'll say, well, check this out. And it'll use less varnish. It'll run a touch faster, but it looks multiple
Better.
times better.
Right. So
And
we
we'll
actually
go,
we just did a. I don't know if you know Matt Redbear. He's an operator and designer, and also he's running our creative at Tactiful. We just did a brochure. Actually, I think I have a copy here, and the whole part. And he did a video on, should you go for the obvious choice or the curious choice. And so the obvious choice is, you look at a picture like this. You think, okay, I'm going to put it all over the person. I'm going to put as much varnish as possible. But if you really look at it, just the glasses, just putting it on the frames like that makes all the difference, because you're surprisingly there. I love how you put that, Andy. You're surprisingly there. Speaking of being surprisingly there, or unsurprisingly there, you recently, last week, won probably the most coveted embellishment award there is, which is the Gold Leaf Best in Show, for a piece that when I saw it, I didn't fully understand what I was looking at until I read the description. Guys, if you're watching this, you have to see this piece. Andy, can you tell us about this Best in Show piece, this Willy Wonka piece that you ran, and how you ran it, and what was the impetus behind it, and just walk us through that whole process. But first, show us the piece. Show us the winning piece of the Best in Show for the FSEA Gold Leaf Award. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. And now what's surprising about this piece, ladies and gentlemen, is that there is not one drop of ink or toner on that sheet. Am I correct?
That's right. Well, it kind of started. We just wanted something to show our people that came to look at the machine.
Right.
Just you got to land on the moon to figure out Velcro or something like that. We just wanted to press the max of the machine. So I had asked my operators. I said, I want to duotone, because we've done maps, and people see foil on maps, and our maps will go down to 3-point type, 4-point type, and so small, and people are like, wow, look at that. You can't do that with foil, but it's right here. And I said, well, let's do halftones, and let's not only do halftones, let's do a duotone or a tritone, kind of going back to the college days of doing duotones and stuff. And so the operator did it, and I'm a kind of a Willy Wonka fan. I'm at the age then, I've got different things in the shop, and we do quotes of Willy Wonka. They did a duotone, and I said, no, that's not good enough. It's all blotchy, and I want fine lines, fine dots. I want to show how light we can put foil on, not how heavy we can put foil on.
Smart.
And so we did duotones, and I said, you got to have highlights and lowlights. And then they came back, and the next time it wasn't very good either. I said, yeah, that's kind of better, but let's go a little bit more. And like the next day, the operator brought this up, and we did 10 of them. So this piece won from an operator just testing the machine out, and it's on scrap paper. I think
That's the best part. I think this is the best part. Not only is it, 8 passes of foil, but it's on the back of my make ready sheet.
Yeah, it's a printed sheet on that came in because we don't buy paper,
Right.
unless we mess something up. It
Right.
comes in printed. So it was on make ready stock. We put some laminate on it. The MGI loves laminate. It
Yeah.
just works better. And he just did it, and it just looked great. And it's like, wow, we can't sell that, but that's exactly what we want. We want to show the max of what we can do. And so he spent a few hours, probably 3 or 4 hours, creating this thing and printing it, and different foils that were laying around in the shop. And then we had them posted around the shop. And when people would come in and said, check this out. And we've got some more, but the Willy Wonka was the favorite because once he figured it out, he's done some more. And check this out. And then different people would say, can I have one? Can I have one? And when Jeff asked us if we wanted to enter anything, he said, well, people kind of like this. We'll do this. And then we made the border around it with some black soft touch laminate. And then we hit the quote on it. And we turned in our last 2 pieces, and it won Best of Show. It was very exciting for us.
Wow, amazing! I was absolutely shocked. How many passes of foil was it? 8.
8.
8 different passes of foil. And can we take one quick more look at that beautiful piece of art that you were able to create, the 1 of 10, which is now a collector. I'll
at this real close so you can see like
wow,
the highlights are.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no ink on the sheet. This is all just foil on top of foil, next to foil with other foil next to it. Unbelievable job.
And it's got a little lenticular feel to it, so Willie's blue eyes kind of follow you around depending on which angle you're getting the reflection from.
Very cool. And if I'm not mistaken, you have just nabbed the front cover of this quarter's Post-Press Specialties magazine as well with that piece. So congratulations on that, Andy. Very, very happy for you. Very proud of you on how far you guys have come. Sounds like you guys are really figuring out digital embellishment at the next level. And listen, if you're a printer and you want to team up with somebody who's doing some great work on the finishing side, I really, really encourage you to reach out to Andy and to his company, Post-Press Specialties. The website is www.post-press.com. There's a link here in the video, in the description. You definitely want to check these guys out. Andy, give us some little wisdom, some parting words for people who are thinking about getting in the embellishment industry or already in it. Any piece of advice that you'd give to anybody out there?
I think the imagination, it's so refreshing to come in and create something and do something that everybody else isn't doing. I think that's a chance you have with digital. I think printers get it, sometimes, and then you just beat it into the ground and you do it over and over again. But digital enhancement, embellishments are doing stuff that we didn't know we could do a few months ago, almost every month.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun.
That's beautiful. Well, Andy, again, thank you for everything you do for the industry. Really appreciate it. Keep up the great work. We'll be following you very, very closely, and please don't hesitate to. I hope to have you back on as a guest. You were absolutely fantastic.
All right. Well, I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Andy. See you soon.
All right. Take care.